everybody, welcome back to our next session of the Global SU Share Fair. My name is Tracy Held and I'm in Melbourne in Australia. If you're in Australia, good morning. If you're anywhere else in the world, good evening, good afternoon. It gets very confusing with all our different time zones. Now, I'm very excited about my card today because I'm sharing with you the new framed Florets bundle, which is the pre-order that's available now. So let me show you my card and then I will show you the products. So this is what my card looks like. So it's going to lie flat to post, but then it's actually an easel card that pops up like that. Now, most of the other presentations happened during our night, so I haven't actually seen them yet. I will be watching them on replay. But I don't know whether you were told, so I'm going to tell you again. If you've already heard this, well, just ignore me for the next couple of seconds. We decided to challenge ourselves today. So being in different countries, we work on different measurements. So we decided that we were going to make cards in imperial and metric measurements. So I'm going to be very brave. This card is my normal metric card. And I'm going to be doing my presentation on an imperial size card. So I'm not giving you measurements and things for base cards or base sizes. I'll put those in the description. And I will give you measurements for scoring and cutting and things that we need to go as we go along. So first of all, let's have a look at the products. And if you haven't got your pre-order in, trust me, you're going to want to. So first of all, I'm using the framed Floret stamp set, and this has coordinating dies. Okay, now these dies do cut out sort of the frame, and they cut out the oval that goes inside. So you can use it to cut out both, and those will coordinate with the stamp set. And then you've got these extra like wispy pieces. Now, I'm not using the actual frames today. It just didn't fit with the flower pot, but we are using the dies. I think that it's this one in particular does actually coordinate with the DSP. Here we go. Let's hope that I've got the right one and we can, so that will cut out that flower in the DSP. The other flowers in the DSP, which I'm going to show you in a minute, you need to fussy cut, but I'm not big on fussy cutting and they're not too terrible to fussy cut. Then as bonuses for the pre-order, we've got this framed and festive stamp set. So that's got nice greetings that you can use on your Christmas cards. And again, those will fit into the dies really nicely. But now, the cream of the crop is the designer series paper. I just want to pull out that I've got one of each sheet to show you. I think that that's all of them. So this one has got your little flowers on, which yeah, you're going to need to fussy cut those. Then we've got that, which works really great for Christmas cards. It's got the berries. I would never have thought of putting that combination together and having green and blue flowers, but it actually works really nicely. This one is also a bit Christmassy. You could leave the berries white, or if you really wanted them red, you can color them in. Then we've got that one, which again is my green and blue flowers. And this is the one which is wow, which, like I said, the dies will cut out those ones. The others need to fussy cut. And then the reverse sides of the paper are all a little bit more, less flowery, more neutral. So we've got all of those. So really nice colors, and those will all work really well as well. Yes, Susan, I agree. When the dies cut out the paper, it just makes it so easy. Then as part of the pre-order, we've also got these gold gold adhesive backed swirls. Now I'm going to hold those right up. I hope that you can see them. They are really, really lovely. And the other thing that I'm going to be using is the Time Warm Type embossing folder, which is obviously in the annual catalogue, not part of this. And I'm using my postage stamp punch. Okay, so let's get going and see how I'm going to work designing a imperial size card. So we're starting off with the base, which I'm using Balmy Blue, and that's just half a sheet of cardstock cut long ways. And because I'm working in imperial, we're going to score that at 2 3/4 inches. And 5.5. And if we're working in metric, that's going to be at 7.5 and 14.9. Okay, now before I put my scoring tool away completely, I've got my little square which I'm going to use for the pot plant, and there was a ruler here 2 minutes ago. All right, I can maybe just mark it on my cutter. All right, so we're going to mark a 1/2 inch from each side, and if we're working in imperial, that's going to be 1.2 centimeters. So just make your little mark there, and the same on the other side. Okay, and now I'm going to cut from the corner to my mark. Okay, so that's giving us the shape for our pot plant. And if I can find where I made my mark, we're doing the same on both sides. Okay, so there we go. Now I can put my cutter away, and we're ready to start assembling. So let's fold my card. So standard half fold. Now this one we're folding up. That's going up. And then I've got my pieces of DSP, and I must tell you that this is very, very hard using this DSP because the reverse sides are sort of really good, really neutral, excellent go-to colors. And I just need to poke something into my glue here because it doesn't want to come out. But it kind of breaks your heart to have to cover up the flowers. So just order extra DSP that you've got lots of both sides, and that'll keep you happy. Alright, so here goes my inside layer. And this was the one that I was really crying about, that I had to stick down these flowers that I could have been cutting out to use, but oh well. You don't see it once it's stuck, and I really wanted that balmy blue side up. Okay. Now I'm going to just put a piece of tear and tape across the top of my pot. And I don't know whether I've mentioned it or not. I think I forgot. I told you that I was using the embossing folder, but I actually put this through the embossing folder before I went live, just so that I didn't have to do it. So that's already got my embossing on it, which makes it look a bit more, you know, like a rough terracotta pot. It doesn't make any difference. You can either put it through before you cut it or you can put it through after you cut it. So our piece of tear and tape across the top, and then we're going to stick the pot across the top. So we want to make sure that it's roughly in the middle, which I'm never very good at getting things in the middle, and we want our tape on there. So this pot is going along the folded edge. So make sure when you've got your card, your actual open edge is going to the top, otherwise you're not going to get it to flap up. So yeah, Shirley, you learn all kinds of strange things when you're crafting. It's from how to make pots to how to arrange flowers. Now I've cut out some leaves from my Forever Flourishing dies. I like those. These are the ones that cut out from the dies that come with the set, but they were just a little bit too open and a bit too flowery for me. And now we're going to arrange our flowers. So you want to make sure that you're only sticking onto the top here and your flower pot. Okay, so don't stick anything down that's going over the edge, because then you're sticking your card together. And you also don't want this to go too far down, because then you've got a whole lot to cover up. So what I did is I didn't want all of my stems to be loose and separated, so I've cut it close to the bottom there where the stems are still all stuck together, but I don't have too much extra length. And here's where I don't do flower arranging, so if anybody does flower arranging, you may have a much better idea of how to arrange all your flowers, but here it's just a matter of playing and seeing how you want it all to fit together. So I just wanted some leaves in the background. We are going to be covering up a lot of them with the flowers, but you just get a little bit of that green poking through, and I just want to see if I can get, we've got one tiny little piece that didn't come out there. Okay, it doesn't really matter if you've got one teeny tiny piece of that didn't come out, but oh well, it's out now. Alright, and we're going to put those leaves. And I have sat and cut out a whole lot of my flowers. Okay, so like I said, they all cut out, and you can arrange them however you like. I'm going to just put one of these little leaves poking down here because I had it the last time, so I don't want to do what I normally do and sit and arrange all of my flowers and then have to take them all apart to glue them again. So we're going to just kind of more or less copy what I've got there. But alright, so these do have leaves with them, so you don't need too many extra leaves, and the DSP does have separate leaves in it, so you can cut your leaves out separately as well. I'm gonna put that over there. Now, if you've got pieces like this which were along the edge, don't throw them away, because I'm going to put this one sort of here because I know that I'm going to put something else over the top, so it's going to hide it. So you can use those side pieces, or I always like decorating the inside of my card, so that goes really nicely on the inside. And I'll show you what I mean by that, because I'm going to put a piece on the back, and no, I wasn't supposed to drop that, but anyway, we'll just, once that's dry, I'll get rid of that. And we can have another one poking up at the top over there. And again, that's one of those edge pieces. And then I'm going to pop that one up and over on dimensional. So that one's going to just stand up a little bit higher. And like I said, it's up to you how you want to arrange your flowers and which of the flowers you want to use. Don't know if I needed that many dimensionals, but oh well, we'll use them. Okay, so we're going to put that. And here's where nobody knows that those flowers there are not whole flowers, they cut off on the side. Let's just see what else I've got here. I'm just wondering if we want the only thing now. That one should have gone. Yes? Okay, we'll pop that one in as well. I should have put that one underneath, but it looks like I'm going to be able to manage to push it that you can't see that it's a straight piece. There we go. I think that that's my flower pot nice and full. And then I'm going to take some of my swirls and just put a few here and there in the center of my flowers. I love these swirls. They are so pretty. I'm going to put them on my sort of bigger flowers, or my bigger centers rather, but hey, you can see where you want them and where you think that they should go. I'm going to leave it at that. Now my sentiment, and yes, I do have a nice mark on there because I didn't want to get confused with which was my piece that I'm going to put at the back for us to write a note on, and which was my sentiment piece, because this was just a scrap, but they're really similar sizes, so I didn't want to mess that up. This one I used the thank you with all my heart. For this one I'm going to use that one, which I think is more of a birthday one, but I really like the words on that one, for a special person on a special day. And this one cuts out really well with my my postage stamp die, except I need to just cut a bit more, cut off my mark so that it can fit into my punch. Susan, those swirls are awesome. They are just so pretty, and they've got that swirly detail on them that I think that when I put in my next order, I am getting another pack of DSP and another pack of the embellishments. Alright, so we've got our sentiment, and we want this on dimensionals because we want to be able to hook the flower pot behind it. Now, I'm just looking, it looks like I'm just a couple of flowers short, so just bear with me very, very quickly. I'm going to cut out one of the little ones here because I think that I do want some little flowers on the bottom of my flower pot. So while I'm looking at that, let's just very quickly cut that out. Okay, what I'm going to do is we're going to doctor this a little bit because this is one of those ones which was an edge piece that I've just grabbed here, but it doesn't work because it's not a long or straight edge. So I'm just going to cut it out that we've just got the flower. I thought I had them all cut out, but obviously I hadn't cut out enough. Alright, so we want that going at the bottom of my flower pot that we've got one flower that's fallen down over there. And then I've got some of the straight edges, well, the edges on my dimensionals that I'm going to use here. But if you've got the adhesive foam strips, that'll work really well. Oh, great. Let's pull off the backing and leave the dimensionals on the sheet. That'll work really well here too, because it's just got that nice straight edge for you to hook your flower pot behind. Okay, now you just want to be sure that wherever it's positioned, and this one actually works quite well because it's similar size, so you want it high enough on your card so that when it's closed, it's going to be hidden. Okay. Now that one was a bigger one, so I cut that out with my stitched rectangles and just made it fit, but there we go, that's going to work over there. And when we close it, it's almost hidden. I maybe could have moved it over just a fraction, but I'm going to leave that there. And then I looked at this and I went, okay, that looks really nice, but now where am I going to write a message? So what I've done is I've cut a piece of DSP that's going to go at the back, and this is what I was saying to you. I've got one of my edge piece flowers, and we're just going to stick the glue on. Now, sometimes they don't have an obvious right way and wrong way. To me, this one has to go up. It'll just look a bit funny. That looks like it's obviously upside down. So because of the way that it is, I'm going to put it along this side of my, for lack of a better word, insert, except that it's not going inside the card. And I'm going to stick that it's going along the bottom over here so that I've got somewhere to write a note. Okay, so there are my two cards, and if you look at the sizing, you'll see that my imperial size card is a little bit shorter, and if we put them together, it's also fractionally wider than the metric size. Okay, and if you're doing size conversions, the important thing to remember is that we're starting off with a different size cardstock. So it's not a direct convert from inches to centimeters. It's fine where it's just things that, you know, it's a square or a piece that's going on top. But when you're actually working with the base sizes, you just need to be aware of what your base size is. So those are my cards. I hope that you've enjoyed this. I hope that you like the new framed florets. If you want to order it, it's on pre-order now. Like I said to you, the extra stamp set, the DSP, and the swirls are only available on pre-order. So that'll be probably until the end of December when the new catalog goes live, or while stocks last. So if you want it, order early. You don't want to miss out. Speak to your demonstrator. They'll be happy to put an order in for you. So enjoy the rest of the share fair. Annette is up at 10:30. She's not actually in her stamp room at the moment, but she has recorded a video for us, and her card is beautiful. That'll go live in 5 minutes time. I will catch up with you later. So until then, bye.